turn us up. Hey, it's the DETOUR.
Yo, what's up everybody? Kyle here from Rykerroad and the DETOUR. We got something a little bit different for you today. Today, we're going to share with you a story that I told a long time ago on my old YouTube channel. We took it down just because it wasn't consistent with the content that I was putting on there, and we decided that we wanted to go ahead and give it to you guys. This is a true story. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this, and if you want to see more videos like this, we'll keep this happening. But nevertheless, we hope you guys enjoyed. We will talk to you soon. Adios.
Now, this story took place in the summer of 2004. When I was a young lad, I didn't have a lot to look forward to. I hadn't picked up a guitar yet. I didn't know that I could make films. I just sat at home and played video games. I was a fat, depressed child. Sometimes I still am. But there was one thing that gave me hope. One thing that was wonderful, and that was Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts was awesome. You learned how to tie knots. You learned how to survive in the wilderness. You learned how to make a fire out of nothing. They always told me we were going to learn how to turn salt water into drinking water, but that never happened. But regardless, it was still a really great time. Every year we did different campouts that were pretty consistent. There was the Klondike campout, which was camping in winter, which, no. Secondly, we had summer camp, which was a week full of fun. Rock climbing, 3 great meals every single day, bonfires every single night. Next up, we had shooting camp, which we got to shoot shotguns and shoot guns and learn gun safety, and nobody ever lost a limb because we were smart. But there was one campout that I looked forward to every year. Cut Loose Campout. This was a time that a Boy Scout could do whatever he wanted. If he wanted to do a project, he could. If he wanted to sit by the fire all day, he could do it. If he wanted to hike, if he wanted to swim, you could do anything on this Cut Loose Campout. It was a lot of fun. It basically was a ginormous field with a pond in the middle. It had a building that we kept supplies and different stuff in, and we were able to do whatever we wanted. Cut Loose campouts were amazing. All except one. One that changed everything in my life. So, the second day of our camping trip, we're all sitting around the fire. It's dark at this point, and we're all roasting marshmallows and hot dogs and telling each other stories and having a good old time. When my Scoutmaster John, what a great guy. Had he known what the night was going to behold for us, he would not have let us go. So he gathers all of us around, right? And we're talking, and he says, hey, did you guys know that there's actually an old ghost story about this place? And I went, no, and I don't want to know. You see, being in a building and dealing with a ghost is one thing, but when you're out in nature, that's a whole different ball of worms. You don't want to deal with that. Apparently, from what John was telling us, was that there was a witch's well. Yeah, a witch's well. Come to find out, historically, it's actually real. So John just looks at us and says, yeah, go with your scout leaders. They'll take you out to it and you can see it because apparently it glows. It glows. Oh boy. A night hike. Yeah, a night hike to go see a witch's well. Isn't that fun? So the scout leaders decided, who mind you were only about 5 years older than the rest of us, decided that they were going to tie a rope around all of us, take away all of our flashlights, and we had to go through the woods in the complete pitch black. At this point, I've already had enough because they had already kind of taken us under their wing and they were doing things when the scoutmasters weren't around, like, beating up on us and, doing stuff like that. So I wasn't ready to go out into nature with these guys, let alone in the pitch black darkness and without a flashlight. So we get taken out into the middle of nature. So we're all stumbling over each other with this rope that they attached to us because some of us are scared, some of us are excited, everything. So we're trying to get through the woods and make it to this witch's well. Lo and behold, we get to the witch's well. And it is glowing. Massive glow. Like you can see it from the distance. I was like, is this real? Like I knew the witch's well was real and I knew that there was paranormal stuff that had happened around there. But to actually see an apparition or something like that, like to see it glowing, that's terrifying. So at this point, I had kind of had enough. So I went ahead, undid the rope, ran over to the witch's well, and I look inside, and sure enough, it is glowing. Glowing like a freak of nature. I did something that probably a normal person wouldn't do, but I kind of just full Monty'd it and jumped right into the well. Yeah, jumped right in. The reason I jumped in was because I found a clear bag of 30 glow sticks. Yeah, these ghost hunter knockoffs threw a bag of glow sticks into this thing without our scoutmaster knowing it. So I pop my head out of the well with a bag and I go, all right, which one of you jagwagons did this? And the scout leaders left us. They ran away. So there we are in the middle of the dark woods, me with a bag of glow sticks, and now I'm thinking, well, at least now we can find our way back. About that time, I heard some rustling behind me. There was a bush, and it started moving left and right. It was rustling. Now I figured it was one of our scout leaders, Jordan. So I said, hey Jordan, you're not fooling anybody, all right? Enough of it, ha ha ha, it's all scary, whatever. I'm not scared of this. And then I hear a noise that I will never forget. A growl. This bush growled at me. I would like to tell you that I was scared. I mean, I'm scared thinking of it right now, but in that moment, I was so angry, I didn't even care anymore. I just looked at it and I was like, you're not fooling anybody. I kicked the bush. I kicked it. The next thing I know, I hear whimpering and something scurrying off. All of my fellow scout mates looked at me and said, dude, what was that? And I said, I have no idea. But I didn't care because I figured I'd kick Jordan in the face or something. I didn't know what happened. So through some circumstances, we finally got out of the woods. We come to this path that's right next to a cornfield. That's when all of our scout leaders jump out at us. There was probably a 3-minute window between the growl and when we found the scout leaders hiding inside of the cornfield. They tried to scare us. Apparently, that was the left hook. They planted the glow sticks to be able to give us the idea that this place was haunted and then hide inside of the cornfield and jump out at us. That was their left hook. They had nothing to do with the growl at all. Turns out, the place where we did our cut loose campout was avid for coyotes and wolves. Legit had wolves. And I asked the guys, I said, hey, like, why did you do that back there? Who growled? That was really awesome. And all three of them looked at us and I could tell that they were actually kind of scared now. They went, what? What do you mean? And I said, yeah, I kicked a bush because I heard a growl. And they said, we need to go back to the campsite. So on my cut loose campout, not only did I investigate a witch's well that was supposedly haunted, but I kicked a wolf. I shouldn't be alive. I really shouldn't. I guess the point of this whole story is that confidence is easy to have when you don't know what you're up against. But sometimes you can be victorious.